You're listening to the Digest This podcast, and I'm your host, Bethany Cameron. I know that a lot of people are struggling right now, and I was driving in my car today and I was thinking about just different experiences in my life, and I wanted to share a few just to give you guys some hope. It's going to be a little bit of a different bite of knowledge today, but I really have confidence that this is going to inspire and give hope to every single person listening, whether you're going through a relationship trial, whether you're going through health issues, financial issues, whether you're just like down and you have no idea why, and you're just trying to like tread water. I just want to share something that I personally experienced, and just to kind of change our way of thinking. And a lot of people may be mad at God for different reasons. You're wondering why things are happening in your life. You've been praying for relief. You've been praying for something, and it just seems to be getting worse, honestly. So I just wanted to share a little bit today. I hope that you stick to the end. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet. But that's what I've got for you today. I just wanted to jump on before you lose this train of thought. So without further ado, let's get into it. Pooping, constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating, farting, all that. We are all human. We all do it. We all experience it. And it's something that I talk about quite often on this show. And another thing I talk about often is seed probiotic. And this is something I have been personally taking for about 3 years now. It is a pre and probiotic capsule all in one. And it's something I talk about on my Instagram too. And I always recommend it to everyone that asks me what probiotic would I recommend, and that is Seed's DS-01. And if you're one of the millions that have been on the fence about Seed and have been curious to try it, now is the time, because my listeners get 25% off their first month. Just go to seed.com/digest and use code 25digest to get 25% off your first month. Again, that's 25% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic at seed.com/digest and use code 25digest. You guys always see me raving about Fatty 15 on my Instagram, and I've been taking it for about a year now and have even gotten my husband on board. Well, why? Because Fatty 15 is the first supplement ever to help cellular fragility syndrome, which is due to low levels of the essential fatty acid C15. The pure C15 ingredient in Fatty 15 has 26 more cellular benefits than omega-3 and repairs 83% of cell types. As many as 1 in 3 people worldwide may have low C15 levels and cellular fragility syndrome. So if you think your omega fish oil is doing you good, think again and try Fatty 15 for a change. And the icing on the cake is that Fatty 15 is 100% vegan with no burpy fish smell. If you are wanting to stop oxidation in the body and slow down aging, or just looking for a safer alternative to omega fish oil, give Fatty 15 a try just like I did. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15/digest and use code digest at checkout. Okay, so today I was driving in my car, and just a little bit of a personal experience. I've been praying for a really strong marriage. And my husband and I, we've only been married like 2.5 years. And we've never had really marital issues, like, praise God. We've always just tried to keep it Christ-centered. But there's been struggles, like there's been health issues that have arisen. There's been financial stuff that's come out of things, like just struggles. And of course, that puts a lot of stress in our marriage. And if you're not married or if you're not in a relationship, trust me, like, I'm going somewhere with this. This applies to everything. But through a lot of things that I have been dealing with personally, like mold, like just money, financial stuff, it's really put a stress on our marriage. And we've had instances where, it's gotten a little bit just like tense between each other just because of everything happening. And we've, like as any marriage does, we've butted heads and we typically tend to work things out. And all this to say is I've been like just praying for a really strong marriage. And through all of these trials and tribulations, our marriage has gotten stronger, and I feel it. And it's funny because when you often pray for something, it doesn't have to be about a relationship, right? It could be for a breakthrough in health or a breakthrough in finances, what have you. But we often tend to pray for something or ask God for something, and it just seems to be getting worse. And like I was praying, like, Lord, like just strengthen our marriage, make it be even stronger than it is. And it just seems to be it felt like I was just being bombarded left and right, up and down, in and out by all these different things happening in life. And I've had so many breakdowns where I just cry and like my hormones are all over the place. And it's stressful. It's stressful on our marriage. But we work through it. And through all of this, through some mold and just different health things that have come out, like our marriage has gotten stronger, and it's stronger than it's ever been. It's not like we've been married, for decades here, but it just keeps getting stronger. And I think that can apply to anything in life. And God works in weird ways, because when you ask for something, it's often not given to you right away. And when it is given to you, it's like given in a weird way where like you weren't expecting. I'm going to give you another example is my husband. Like maybe you are praying for a husband, you're praying for a wife or a husband or a boyfriend and girlfriend, just someone. And so here's another example. My husband, he lost his property in a fire. This was before we met. And he was living up north in Northern California. And we actually talked about this in a podcast where I interviewed him in January. But if you missed it, long story short, so he was living up north. His property burned in a fire. And so then he ended up coming down here to Southern California in Orange County. And then literally like very soon, like just months after he moved down here, maybe like 6 months later, we met. I mean, very quickly after he moved down here, we met and we started talking, we started dating, and obviously the rest is history. If his property hadn't burned down, which is a horrible, tragic thing, he probably would have never moved down here, and we probably would have never met and gotten married. And he had been praying for a wife for himself, and he had basically accepted the fact that he was not going to get married. And he was like, okay, Lord, like I'm just not going to be married. I'm just going to be one of those single people. And for me, it was the same thing. Like I had come to a point in my life where I was like, man, I'm kind of like past that point. All of my friends are not only married, but they already have kids. And I just felt like I'm still single. Okay, Lord, like I'm just going to have to accept the fact and have peace with that. And it's crazy because when you finally just like give it to God and you accept just what it is, it's like then he like answers prayers. And so all this to say, again, if that fire never would have happened, he probably would never have a reason to come down here. Like, yes, family was down here. His family was down here. But he would never have a reason to literally like move. Maybe he would have come down here for Christmas or Thanksgiving or something. But he moved down here because, what else did he have up there? And so it's weird because, we pray for something and it's almost like things get worse, and for him, it was like, man, he had to start from scratch. He had to find a job, he started just working for his friend in construction. And again, here's another example. Like I was so sick. I'm going to just share this with you because I was literally, it just came to me today, like how bad it was. What I do on Instagram, like what I do on social media, and yes, I am in the public eye. This was never my choice. I never told myself, I'm going to quit my job and I want to be on social media and I want to create recipes and work with brands and like do the deep digging and like investigate different studies and like the food industry. Like I never chose this. You guys know I'm really picky about what goes into my body. So that's why I choose Element's Raw Unflavored Electrolyte Mix, which contains just three simple ingredients: no maltodextrin, no natural flavors, no stevia, no monk fruit, just three simple ingredients that are all contributing to our electrolyte balance. And right now, Element is offering my listeners a free sample pack with any purchase. That's 8 single serve packets for free with any Element order. So you just have to go to DRINKLMNT.com/digest to get this offer. Element also has a no questions asked refund policy, so you can try it totally risk-free. If you don't like it, they will give you your money back, no questions asked. Go to drinklmnt.com/digest to get this amazing offer. The reason I even got into this is because I got really sick. You guys pretty much know my story. I was bedridden. I thought I was going to die. My dad was mentally preparing himself to bury his daughter. Like that's how sick I was. So obviously I had to quit my job. And I don't know if I've shared this, but the time I had quit my job, I had worked my way up. I was the assistant to the vice president of a rice and bean company that supplies Taco Bell, Del Taco. Like we were high up there. And I was his assistant. I was booking his flights. I was booking his family vacations. When he came back from a work trip, I was sorting out his receipts. Like I was the personal assistant, and like I had retirement, I had benefits. Like it was set, and I loved my job. It was a great work environment. They were Christian people. Like it was just a good place to be. And I had to quit. Like I got so sick. And then, of course, I was like, God, like what the heck is happening? And through all of that, I kind of defaulted into this Instagram social media space because I kind of had to. I just started documenting what I was doing, how I was healing, just different things I was doing to heal my gut, just kind of as a hobby. I think I went on Instagram like once or twice a week. It was very random. And then I started to like realize, like I was in this space before like a quote influencer was a thing. And I really hate that word because I really don't like to be called an influencer. I really like to be called an educator, but just whatever. Anyways, so I was in this space before all of that even happened. This was like 2015. And I realized I'm like, maybe I could like just make some extra money for gas. Like maybe I could just make some extra, like I didn't want my parents doing everything for me, and thankfully they had given me some free rent because I had rented like a back house that was on their property. And so they were like, look, we know you're sick. We know you don't have a job. Like just stay here until you get back up on your feet. And I didn't want to take advantage of that. And so I was like, okay, Lord, like what can I do in my house while I'm sick to just generate some income, to just, pull my weight? And the Lord, like he really provided. And then it started to catch on. I started to reach out to companies that I liked, and things have definitely evolved. I definitely wouldn't partner with a lot of the brands I used to partner with just because of my knowledge and just the education that I have now versus then. But of course, back then I thought, of course, this is like the best that I knew, right? Back then. Now I know more about natural flavors and gums and stevia and all that. But all that to say is I was trying to do the best that I could with the knowledge that I had. And as I healed, as I developed, I began to gain more knowledge, and I began to read more studies and investigate and just flood myself with information, and information that not the general public is not really exposed to, right? And I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but all that to say is if I never had gotten sick, if I never was literally like on my deathbed, I would never be doing what I am doing today. And I I can't imagine myself doing anything but this. This is my passion. And it's because it comes from a place of suffering, from a place of knowing what it's like to be that person and to want to help those in that position. And I'm saying all this because I don't know your situation. I don't know if you're struggling financially. I don't know if you have a health crisis or you're like just praying like, Lord, just like heal me. Maybe you're in the middle of a divorce. I have no idea, but I want to give you some encouragement and some insight and some light. And that is like, maybe you're going through a health struggle right now. And you're like, man, things just keep getting worse. And I'm just not finding answers. And you're praying, and maybe God's going to answer that prayer, but it's going to be different and better than what you're praying for. And it's going to come through different avenues. Like my husband, like, man, he was praying for a wife, but man, his property had to burn for him to find his wife. Like, it's sad to even think about. And God knows more, and he knows what we need more than what we know we need. And just to send you some encouragement, stay on the path, keep your head forward, keep praying, do not stop praying. And maybe like today I interviewed the worm queen. Her name is Kim Robbins. Here's another example. Like they were preparing for her to die. This was literally just like 5 years ago, maybe. And she had parasites. So she was able to heal from parasites, right? Now she has her own company and she is helping others with parasites and has her own cleanse and has her own products. And she's helping, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people. And she has all this knowledge. And of course, like again, all of that came from her illness. And it's like we have to go through the fire to be purified sometimes. And so just wanted to give that little glimpse of hope that whatever you're going through, perhaps it is for a purpose and it's for the greater good. And man, I know it's hard when you're in the middle of it, like you're in the fire right now. But if you can just grab onto this message and know that, just keep going. And God is still working, even though we don't see it, even though we can't see it. And let me just give you one more example. So I don't want to give away the identity, but I know someone. And she was in a relationship for 8 years. She was living with her boyfriend. And it was not a good situation, but she was with him for 8 years. She wanted out. And she didn't have the courage. He wasn't a Christian man. She wanted a Christian man, and she knew she was living in sin, and she wanted to have kids. He didn't. She wanted to raise her kids in the church. He didn't. And so she was like, well, what am I doing? Did I just waste 8 years? So like the thing of, man, I want out. I'm living with this guy, but where do I go? If I leave, I have nowhere to stay. I'm going to be homeless. And I just wasted 8 years of my life. Should I maybe just stay with him? Because I don't want all those 8 years to go to waste. Long story short, again, she ended up leaving him because she knew it wasn't right what she was doing. And she confessed to God. And literally, I want to say like 2 months after she left him, she met her now husband, and they have 2 beautiful children. And he's an amazing Christian man. And it was like that leap of faith that she had to take. So there's just so many different examples and circumstances that I could just keep sharing. But anyways, I just want to encourage you to stay the course and to not give up. And so I hope this was an encouraging bite of knowledge today, and just a little bit of inspiration, a little Monday motivation. And anyways, I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right. And if you did enjoy this podcast, I do encourage you to leave a 5-star rating and review. It really does help the podcast. It gets into more eyes and ears. It helps the show, and it helps pop up when people are looking for something really good, educational to listen to, etc. So thank you so much for all your support and your positive reviews. All right, guys. Love you. Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Wellness Loud production produced by Drake Peterson and edited by Mike Fry. To check out more shows by my team, go to wellnessloud.com, and to email the show, message us at digestthispod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.